Go for it.
Grand Rising, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Huddle. My name is Chase Steele Gray. I'm your host for today as we speak about health, vitality, wellness, all the good things that keep us here for as long as we would like to be, hopefully. We have a great discussion today with a wonderful, wonderful young woman. I can't wait for you to meet her. Thank you so much for being here in the Daily Huddle. If it's your first time here, you're going to have a great time. So run and tell your friends now. Get on the Zoom. Thank you so much for joining the Daily Huddle. Here we go. Uh-oh.
Boom.
Are we here? We're here. Wow, we took the shortcut. That was nice. My head got whipped around a little bit. I didn't know what to do. All right, great. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. I am Chase Steele Gray, joined with my amazing co-host and founders, Gio and Sorel. And as always, I'm excited to speak about things that are a little lesser known in the health and vitality area of life. Hopefully you leave with some gems and some stuff that'll make you feel, look, sound better. We never know, right? Today we have a special guest. I want to let you know who she is, known as the Guru Gal. I don't know why I like saying that. Anyway, today we have Sheree Carara with us. She is here to share what causes MS and how it impacted her career, love life, and her soul. Sheree Carara, founder of Rebirth Therapy, is a naturopathic doctor, Kemetic ancient Egyptian yoga teacher, author, and certified sound healer. Her personal healing journey began in 2013 when she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. This journey led her to shift from a career in banking to naturopathy. Wow. The creation of her company, Rebirth Therapy. Please welcome to the Daily Huddle, Sheree Carara. Why am I saying her name? Carara.
You got it.
Sorry. I don't know why I was saying Carara with all these A's. Carara. How are you?
There you go. I'm great. I'm wonderful.
How's Jamaica? Jamaica and the sun.
Dogs barking at times. It's
how we
wonderful.
do it, right? That's how we do it in Jamaica. Great.
So
So I want to make sure that we have as much time as possible to unpack this. And I remember when I was talking to you and I saw those two words, why me? I thought, wow. At first it sounded like, when you take words and you misconstrue them, you give them your own meaning. Like when someone goes, come on, why me? How would you do that to me? Or it could be, oh, why me? Maybe I'm supposed to bring a certain message. So that inflection can change those two words. And I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt to explain it on your own because I've been hearing about MS for multiple years. And actually, I have a person in my family that has MS who's no longer here. We'll talk about that another time. And somebody that I perform with who is absolutely amazing, to the top energy, fabulous, incredible. You would never believe she has MS, right? So you unpack this for us. Let us know a little bit about the insides of it and what it kind of does. And unpack that why me. Give us your inflection on that particular two words.
Yeah, so the why me, that's a good take in terms of the perception of it. So my why me, and let me take it a step back to tell you about me. I'm this person who will set a goal and nothing will stop me to achieve it.
I know that.
So I remember back in the days of college, I went to Baruch and I used to live in Westchester, and then I moved to the Bronx because it was just easier to go to work and then leave school, which was late. And I used to be on this 5 train. And I noticed people who didn't look like me, they came off 42nd, it kind of started, 59th Street, 86th Street, that was the end. When I look back on the train, I'm like, I'm tired and I see me. I see all my people there. And I was like, I need to get home earlier. This is not working. Right. And I said, you know what, one day I'm going to get off at 86th Street. And I just left it there. And of course, that day came where I got my apartment. I finished school and I got my apartment and I got off at 86th Street. Magna cum laude. traveled, I speak Spanish. I go all out, just naturally, not by force. So when I was diagnosed with MS, multiple sclerosis, on July 3rd, 2013, I remember I was at a general neurologist, and he wrote names of 3 MS doctors, 3 specialists. And I looked at it and I couldn't understand his writing. I looked back at him and I said, "You write like a doctor." And then he started laughing and he said, "You're going to be fine." And then, I went home and I bawled. And I was like, why me? I did everything right. I was doing the best in terms of family, just being there, helping out when I could, doing what society taught me, climb the corporate ladder. So I was a senior executive at JP Morgan, and I was doing everything. I got married, and husband was, just in my life in terms of just us doing great. We lived in a great apartment. And then I got diagnosed with MS. What did I do wrong? And I bawled about this why me. I had to transition this why me to understand that I didn't do anything wrong. I feel like it's my superpower and that I needed to slow down. And MS slowed me down. I lost vision in my left eye. And I remember going to the ophthalmologist. And then it was near to work. So everything, my structure was every appointment was going to be close to work, because what was the most important thing to me then? Getting the job done. So when I went back to the office, I went to the ophthalmologist during lunch, went back to the office, and I saw my colleague and I said, "Man, the ophthalmologist wants me to go to a neurologist." And I was literally annoyed that now he's taking on my time. I got to go to another appointment. And then my colleague said, "Sheree, why would an ophthalmologist want you to see a neurologist?" And then it hit me like a brick. Oh crap, something is wrong. So my priorities were all wrong. Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease where healthy cells attack healthy cells. The cause for MS is truly unknown. It's unknown. However, what's known is we can make decisions to live a better life, and stress is the #1 killer. It creates dis-ease in the body. So I was super stressed, where the vision, completely lost vision in my left eye. It's back now. When I got up to walk, in my head, it was, just move. You subconsciously do this, where you're just thinking you're going to make the movement. So when I got up to make that movement to walk, I'd fall, because that connection from my brain, I'll say, to the muscle from my legs, it wasn't there. So that's what happens with MS, where we can lose control of our muscles. That message doesn't go to the muscle, where it goes there slowly. Like I lost my ability. I'm a talker.
No.
So I lost my ability, right? I lost my ability to talk. And what does that mean? I would have this whole sentence in my head, and what came out was low audible tone, where I couldn't hear it. And it was like one word. And I was literally, it was just like, what is going on? Because I know the sentence is in my head, but when I heard myself, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, what did I do?
No, you're fine.
Sorry. Okay. So my why me was packed with
tears. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's back. My why me was packed with tears, not understanding, like, why did God choose me to get this disease? And I was doing the best that I can. My friend, a friend who I haven't spoken to in 2 years, called me on Monday. And he said he's diagnosed with MS. And he went through this why me. And I had to hold it together for him. But I remember that day, that why me day. Very emotional day.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. I can feel that. I can feel that from you. I'm going to talk for a moment, like, get yourself back together. I understand it's tough. Again, seeing the MS journey on some people that I love, seeing this gorgeous woman who was my cousin that I knew since I was younger, she got MS. And little by little by little by little, she had it like 15 years, I think. It was incredible, her journey. Also, being on the stage with someone that I know who is one of the most vibrant people you've ever seen, I understand that pushing, being around the positivity, having fluids and activity and positivity around you actually can push it further away or push it away completely. And I, as I see you and all the stuff that you've done, all the thing that you're doing, I commend you for pushing back at it because, why would you have not just said, okay, I'm done. I'm good. Let it take me if this is what I'm supposed to happen. Doesn't, obviously that's not your character, but talk about that a little bit. When you decided that, okay, no, I'm not doing this. What were the things that you immediately started to do differently?
I gave up. I surrendered. I asked my cousin to write my eulogy. I was
You did
planning
surrender at first. Wow.
I was literally, I felt like, okay, my organs are going to stop working. Everything is going to fail. I'm going to die. I'm like, all right, I'm about to leave this earth. I'm about to leave this body. I was prepared for that. And it wasn't pushing. It wasn't Sheree doing the, I got to get this done. I made no mental decision or conscious decision that I was going to fight this. I gave up because my fighting came from right here. And the surrendering came from the heart. So it allowed me to hear, to receive, I was a person who would stand in line from a prescription perspective, where's the nearest CVS, where's the nearest Walmart, or wherever people go, I don't even know. Right. And then I was able, when I surrendered, I was able to hear natural medicine may be able to help you at this point. Let's explore. And I literally started to explore without any expectation. Any expectation. So when I started a regimen and I went, I remember one day, it's like that feels different because my energy was so low. I literally would have to slide myself to the bottom of the bed and allow gravity to just let me fall. That's how I got out of the bed. And one day I felt the energy to like kind of get up. And I was like, this is different. That's when I opened my mind and my heart or connected them together and said, let me try this path. So I would say surrender. Back to that one person who you trust, right? For me, it was my meditation teacher at that time. And I just said, okay. And like I said, literally no expectation, but just, I had to mourn the old me because there are things that I can't do now. And I'm okay with that. This rebirth of this new me, I am living my best life. I feel great. I feel awesome. And I felt great and awesome then based on what I knew. I didn't know there was more. So when I gave up,
there it is.
Yeah. So one thing that was hard for me to give up was whiskey. Now, I loved my
whiskey.
Wow. Yes. And I had a good collection, right? And yeah, the good collection and the good vibes and just enjoying the taste, it had to become, it wasn't a memory because when I still indulge, my body was saying, I don't want this anymore. So every time something, I drank or stressed myself out, something would happen. My voice, I couldn't hear myself or I'd get up and not be able to walk. And then that's when it took a year, right? So patience is also a virtue in this journey. It took a year to realize that I had to let that go. There was more in store for me, but I didn't know. It's the unknown aspect of this.
Right. And so you let whiskey go completely?
I don't drink alcohol.
No alcohol at all.
Yeah, it's just my life it's just so much better without it.
I totally understand. You're speaking to a non-alcoholic person as well. Yeah. I want to ask you because I want people to know. I remember you and I were talking, but I saw this post about you being in the bookstore and seeing your book. I want you to tell people about your book and what was the genesis of your book? How did that come about? Was it after this journey or this light bulb, or how did that begin?
So I used to just write, and mostly Instagram, and people would encourage me like, write a book. I'm like, yeah, whatever. It will happen. And then so I literally, my phone on my notes, words would just come to me, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I'd wake up and I just write. And so one day, because I was not home, I was on disability leave and I was home, and that was a little mind blowing. I was like, all right, let me write the book. I sat on my computer. I'm like, all right, chapter 1. Literally nothing. And then I said, okay, at some point I used my notes and created my book. So my book is about bits and pieces of my life in poetic form, I would say. My poetic memoir of of journeys of my life, from my marriage to my divorce, to getting diagnosed with MS, to dating with MS, to a lot of things. So it didn't have a beginning and it didn't have a beginning, middle, and an end, right? As a typical book, which is what I wanted. And then I realized that's not where I am in my life. My brain was scattered. So I was like, just bring you to the table, bring you to the book. And that's where it is in Guru Girl.
Nice. And I want to ask you a question, and I hope this is not too personal because I'm very sensitive to this topic. You know, I mentioned that I sing and I perform with a girl who has MS, and I was complimenting her so much about who she is and how she is and how awesome she is that one day she said to me, Chase, you know I have MS, right? And I said, no, I didn't know you had MS. Do you feel compelled to let people know that you have MS after knowing them for a little while? Or is it a completely non-issue? You just show up as a human being every day wherever you go?
This is a good question. So it's changed, it's shifted, it's grown in terms of evolution. My relationship with MS. Now I give love to MS. I try my best not to say I have MS because I feel like having is holding on to. I was diagnosed with MS is what you'll often hear me say. But there was a time I remember I got off the train, Wall Street, and my legs were like stiff, kind of robot. And you get off a train on Wall Street and you change a flow, you're in trouble. So I had to hold on to my leg, like to pretend it was a muscle cramp. And that's when I got the empathy and compassion where people weren't like walking over me. And I said, man, I wish I was in a wheelchair, because if I was in a wheelchair, people could see that, you know, I'm having a problem. And they hit me at some point. I'm like, what? I wish I was in a wheelchair versus like being better. No, I don't tell people because I'm not looking for empathy. I'm not looking for compassion. I want people to see me.
Right.
Yes, there are differences when I do certain things. And if that person is not there for me, regardless of knowing what I have, it's not my way to weed people out of my life. I might say it, I might not. There's no rule.
Right. I was just curious about that because when she told me, it blew me away. I was like, wow. Because you decide who you are no matter what thing you have. And I've seen it in multiple people that I've studied that are my friends and so on and so forth. Like the mind over matter thing is really real when you concentrate on it properly for yourself, or whatever that way is for you. And you have no children?
No children, by choice.
Right. I remember that. So in this day right now, you're working out, you're doing yoga, you're doing different things. I really think that I'm really impressed with how you've raised everything up to another level. And I think it's a great example for other human beings that are struggling with this and any other debilitating thing that's going on around them. So I really take my hat off to you on the day when I'm not wearing my hat. But really, I really respect you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I mean, I want to take some questions from people if there are some. If anyone has something to add or to say, I would love to hear from you. I see everybody's here. I don't see anyone particularly with their hand raised. Dr. DJ Davis.
Good morning, everyone. Hi. Thank you so much, Sheree, for sharing your message with us. And one thing that has really stood out to me in what you said is the fact that you said that you were diagnosed with MS, that you do not go around saying, I have MS. And I just think words are powerful, particularly the words we tell ourselves regularly are powerful. And I just want to express my appreciation to you for that, for making that distinction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for saying that. I feel the same way. Carara.
Good morning. What a treat to be here today. And you are so inspiring. I do have a question. So it sounds like, and maybe I'm not right, but it sounds like from what you've been sharing that you've been able to minimize the symptoms of MS and almost reverse some of them. Is that accurate? And if yes, how?
So the lesions I have in my brain and my body and my spine are numerous to count.
Okay.
2013, as I mentioned, couldn't walk, couldn't see well. I lost my vision in my left eye. My fatigue, chronic fatigue, was at the highest of high. So every year I do an MRI. The lesions are still there. The lesions do not go away. And what are the lesions? If you think of a phone cord, which I'm looking at my phone cord right now for my I don't know if you can see. I have a black tape, electrical tape around it because it's kind of frayed. So think of this as central nervous system. And when healthy cells attack healthy cells, it kind of eats out that layer. They call it myelin sheath. And, there's no way to repair that. So what I do is really stress is the biggest factor. You have to identify what stress is around you. That's number one, because no matter how much you change your diet, no matter how much you're taking herbs, it's not going to matter. So my divorce was in 2013. My diagnosis was in 2013 because I had to take a step back and realize what was happening in my life. Yes, I did use herbs in addition to getting away from the stress. But first, I would suggest, and that becomes a little tricky because I'm being very general with the answer because it's independent for the person where they are in life and what they're doing in terms of what their body can manage. But so stress, no matter what.
Okay. Thank you.
Amazing.
To you. That's
amazing. I cannot believe a stroke of light has entered the Zoom with us. Julia, will you come out and come off mute, please? If you can speak.
Yes. Oh, yes. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, Julia.
Hello. How are you?
This is my superhero friend that I sing with, Julia Garrison. Wow. I can't believe you're here. I'm so happy. Can you come on camera? If you can, it's fine. It's totally fine if you can't.
Oh, I wish I could, but when I literally rolled out of bed.
Okay, I just hit you at the last second. So
yeah.
will you please you know how much I love you, how impressed I am with you. And man, we've been on so many stages together, and I wish I could show people how amazing you are on the stage. It's like 20 lights shooting up all together. And then of course, if I'm next to you, now I got some light on me. So I'm like, yeah, all right. But can you please connect with everyone that's listening and let them know a little bit about how you've been able to come through this journey? And I think this will be inspiring for everyone.
Well, the funny thing is, I got a late start this morning. I had actually set my alarm to get up at 7 and go to the gym and do some laundry before my therapy appointment later. And at some point in the middle of the night, I just was feeling really achy and just my body was just hurting. And so I decided to sleep in a bit just to give myself a little bit more rest. And it's because of the cold weather. So with multiple sclerosis, when it's really, really cold outside, even sometimes when it's raining or snowing, it affects my body. And
I didn't know that.
Wow. Yes. And so when I got up, because I actually turned my cell phone off last night. I try to do that now so that I won't be distracted by alerts, because I really want to make it a point to get a sufficient amount of rest going into the new year, because I don't get good rest. One, because I battle depression. I'm always in my head, so it takes a minute for me to fall asleep. And two, because sometimes symptoms will wake me up in the middle of the night. So, and that doesn't help, being on your phone, looking at social media, reading this, reading that. So I turned it off, got up, said my prayers, and turned on my cell phone as I was making my bed. And then I saw your text come in and I was like, ain't this something? I'm dealing with symptoms this morning. And he's inviting me on a Zoom dealing with MS. So I said, okay, let me, get myself together so that I could join. But I was diagnosed March 6, 2010. So this March will be 14 years.
Wow.
Thank God I am still in the relapsing, remitting stage. So I still get my symptoms, but thankfully I don't have any new lesions and I'm not dealing with any new symptoms. The last time I had an MRI, I think was like towards the end of 2022, around that period. So I'm probably going to go get one at some point this year just to check in. But I would say it's been difficult emotionally. At first it was difficult physically, but now it's difficult emotionally, because I find that sometimes the empathy and the compassion is not there, especially if you don't look like you're dealing with anyone. And I'm sorry, I'm a mess right now, and
No.
I can't get on camera. But Chase will tell you, if you see me, I look like I'm dealing with absolutely
nothing, like the leader of a parade.
And I thank God for that. You know, there have been even my friends at times when we're together, and if I'm limping or if I get quiet or if they notice that I'm moving differently, they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm not feeling well." It was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "MS symptoms." And they're like, "I always forget. Oh my God. You know,
I always forget. That's the sentence right there. Julia, I'm going to cut you off just for 1 second, and I'm going to bring you back as one of our guests. I want to make sure that these questions get out because we have a limited time. No disrespect to you. I could talk to you for 6 hours in a row. But I'm going to get back to you. Thank you so much for coming on today, and we're gonna connect again soon. Have a great day, okay?
So welcome. Yes.
Thanks,
Rashida.
Julia.
Hi, Sheree. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. I'm sorry, Chase. I'm so glad I chimed in when you were talking, because what you said I was able to relate to. And also the doctor that spoke, someone said to me maybe about 10 years ago, stop saying I have MS. So now I say I was diagnosed with MS. So I'll shut up now. I'm an Aquarius, so I'm talking.
She went astrological. I'm an Aquarius. I can't shut up. Rashida, what do you have to say?
Sheree,
oh, that was so good.
I am so happy to share space with you all guys today. Thank you so much for the point well taken. You don't have MS. You were diagnosed with MS. And one of the things that I know that you didn't emphasize, I know you say that you practice yoga.
Oh, yeah.
So how it is that you go about the day practicing yoga? Because I am a yogist and I'm a yogist teacher. So I know that it has to be some given time in shape. How it is that you go about that day of doing yoga?
Sure. So I started my yoga practice in 2014, but I had to clear up once again the stress, you know, and then I started focusing on, okay, I need to get better at balancing and my strength. Because when I was walking to work, I made note of my ways to walk. I was like, and I felt daily. So I decided I need to find a new route each time I'd fall, but it's Manhattan. After a while, you're going to run out of spaces to walk, right? So I went and I said, okay, I went to a personal trainer and I went to a yogi. I was like, I got to choose one because, you know, two wasn't possible. So I did start at the gym and I got stronger. And I was like, all right, I did that for a year. And then I went to yoga. And that really, for me, just opened a whole pathway of alignment, because yoga is very healing, very healing. I can't even begin to tell you. So I didn't touch on it too much because I go way deep. So I do yoga daily. There was this time, I think I stopped 2 months because I was like, I didn't get to do it. I was like, all right, I'll do it tomorrow. And then my tomorrow turned into 2 months. And man, I could see the difference, feel the difference, but I didn't motivate me to like get up and practice every day. And now I'm back to my practice. Community is very important. So I always recommend go to that person, pay, you know, put that in part of your budget, whatever you have. Pay someone or get some kind of assistance in terms of accountability to get it done. Community is important.
Excellent. Thank you for that question, Rashida. Your camera looks extremely clear today. I don't know what you're doing. Cece, what you got to say? Is that Cece or is that not Cece? Okay. Who is on the Samsung? Okay. Let's go with Hale.
Hey, this is CC.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say thank you so much for your transparency. What I'm gathering is this: a diagnosis doesn't mean that you have to live the diagnosis. It means that you can shift and change, and you don't have to be in the problem all the time. Of course, there are symptoms, but those symptoms can be alleviated by doing simple things. And I see that you guys are sharing the tools that you use to possibly eliminate the diagnosis. And you don't have to call yourself the diagnosis because you're so much greater than that. And thank you so much, and I pass.
Excellent, excellent. So we have a little bit of an extended episode today. Let's get to Hale.
Thank you, Chase, and thank you for this platform. And everyone's share was just phenomenal. And it will repeat most of the things that I want to share, because this really speaks from my heart, because I have lost my vision a few times. So I know the feeling, and I was bedridden that I couldn't even move from athletic to that. What I need, what I want to share, I stopped. This is me, and I'm not telling anyone else to do this. This is what I did, what was right for me to do. I stopped knowing when we go give tests, that means that we are still giving in and thinking there is a diagnosis. And when a symptom comes up, we still believe it's the diagnosis. So when it takes practice, letting go of that and knowing it's just you at the moment, your body experiencing. And when you experience that, not to label it and move on forward and not give it any energy. It might sound, because I know I was labeled with chronic fatigue, chronic pain, and an autoimmune. So I'm talking from experience and from deep root down inside of me. I know the feeling, and it's not easy to move forward when you are in that position. But the thing is really trusting the God within you and just stepping forward, doing what is it that brings you that joy. And from that, your body is beyond powerful. It just removes that programming that was given to you, because you are beyond that. You are so, so powerful, and just know it, not believe it, but know it. And with that, I'm done. Thank you, Chase.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Excellent. Really beautiful.
Yes, yes. Amen.
So this is emotional, this particular episode, on a lot of levels for me. I don't know why, but I do know why in a way. Before we go, I wanted you to say your last piece about this space that we're in. Tara had asked earlier, what type of yoga? I don't remember if you said what type of yoga you practice.
So I started off, I was trained as a vinyasa teacher. I was on disability leave, and I decided I'm going to rest. And what do? Go sign up for yoga teacher training.
Can't stop you. Can't stop you.
But I am a certified Kemetic yoga teacher, which is ancient Egyptian. So that is my heart, my soul. I no longer teach vinyasa because it resonates so much with me because of the history and just the growth with it. Kemetic yoga is number one for me.
Excellent, excellent. Well,
but start anywhere, any kind of yoga.
Any kind of yoga, right? It's true. It's really true. Sheree, I would love to have you back on again. Time always has its way with us here, but I appreciate you so much. You're such a warm spirit, and we really appreciate you being here. It's really, really great to see you. We're going to close out with some tenets that we have. And hey, this is what we do, right? Right? So remember, everybody, to live out loud. Love as widely as you can. Move your body, because when you move your body, everything just starts to flow with you, right? As opposed to just being sedentary right all the time. Eat the mostly plant-based food so that your body can assimilate these things to actually heal us, because actually our food is our medicine. You can check that out wherever you make sure to give, because giving is life. Give of yourself, give more than you think you should. I think that it will never, ever hurt us at all. Remember to challenge your assumptions each and every day, please. And also remember to sleep, extra sleep, more sleep than you ever thought was possible. Sleep like a baby, as the sentence goes. And have a spectacular day. We'll see you tomorrow in the Daily Huddle. Thank you all for being here. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
One love, guys. One love.
Magical.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, and keep loving.
We did it.